massive explosions are being reported in Mexico City, Los Angeles, and San Francisco. President Waterman has warned the governments of the world to brace themselves.
Was that New York?
So what is up, guys? My name is, of course, Carter. Welcome to another Talks podcast show, and it's been nearly 10 months since we did the last show, but I am honoured to have our good friend, Mr. Simon Cox, in the house, writer-director of Invasion Planet Earth, and another special film which is coming, which is in development, and we're going to be talking to Simon a little bit about that. And we're also going to be speaking to Simon about how you can help it, and be a part of it. So, sir, how you doing, buddy?
Hello, mate. Carlos, what an honour to meet you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm really well, thanks, buddy. Really well. It's beautiful sun. The sun's out here. The summer's shining. Summer's shining. Speak English, boy.
No, it is. I've actually got the fan off at the moment,
Right.
which is a bad idea.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we're doing this, because I don't know if whoever's watched in the States, or we're actually filming this about 9 o'clock, 9:30 in the morning. So it's much cooler in the morning.
Yeah.
I think by midday we're going to hit about 30 degrees, and then all my clothes are coming off.
Yeah. And the cameras will be on.
Yeah,
Maybe not.
absolutely. So, Simon,
yes.
I just finished watching Invasion Planet Earth. Absolutely loved it.
Thank you.
massive congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Take us to. I know you've been making it for quite some time.
Do you know what I mean? I'll tell you. Look, I'll try and do the abridged version. Okay.
Yeah.
As an independent filmmaker, I mean, I'm in my 50s, late 50s, but I've always wanted to make films ever since I saw the original Star Wars back in the 70s. And I had a Super 8 camera, and I'd go out and make Super 8 movies and things. But to get into the film industry was really challenging. But I got a job as a runner at a company called Filmfare back in 1988, believe it or not. And we were cutting on film, and they did a lot of kids' TV, the Wombles and Paddington Bear and loads of these kids series. And they were shooting them on film, and we were editing them on film, and it really taught me while I was there, and I was there for 6 years. We cut 300 odd little 10-minute films, and it really showed me how to put films together. You know, how to tell visual stories, because I was editing, I was working with directors, so I was learning from their mistakes, and it was such a good grounding. But my heart was in, movies and sci-fi and things. That's what I really wanted to make, a sci-fi movie. And I'd made a bunch on Super 8 and VHS, but what I really wanted to do was do a big one. So I started writing scripts. I realized actually we didn't have CGI at the time. This was like in the early 90s. So I wrote a nice little horror film called Driven, as it was called at the time. And because I was in the film industry, I was learning how it worked, and I made a little pilot, and I took it around all the distributors in the UK, and I got general, rejection from most of them. But one guy said, yes, come in and we'll have a chat. And so I went in. His name was Noel Cronin, and he now runs a TV company called Talking Pictures TV, which is a big British company here, TV company here. And he said, look, I've got a 3-picture deal with this Canadian company. I've done 2, I've delivered 2, but I've fallen out of everybody. And I'm looking for we've got a little bit of money left, and we're looking for someone to make a 3rd. So right place, right time. After a bit of toing and froing with the scripts, we went out and made the film. But unfortunately, some people came in, and the script was never what I really wanted it to be. But I made this film, and it did really well. You know, it did well for an independent little British movie. It's kind of out there. It's called Written in Blood now, by the way, but it's sort of out there. It's not the greatest movie on planet Earth, but it was all right. But I had such a terrible experience making it. It was a really unpleasant. It was that, well, being an independent filmmaker, I'd always had time, so you could spend a few months on something. Whereas with that film, there was a budget. I had to deliver on this date, and it was bang, 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 bang.
Sure.
And never really got that freedom to really sit and think about it. Anyway, so after that, I thought, well, if I'm going to do that again, at least I'm going to do is make a film that I really want to make. And I was being an editor. I was seeing a lot of how special effects being done, and I was learning, techniques and things.
Sure.
And I thought I could do this on my own. I could do this. So I wrote Kaleidoscope Man, as it was originally called, which became Invasion Planet Earth. Wrote the script, and then went on a 10-year journey trying to get the money. Nobody would fund it. Nobody. I just couldn't get it. I had lots of promises, and you say, oh, we've got you, 500 grand from there and 300 grand from there, and you build this house of cards.
Yeah.
And it just kept collapsing, and the 10 years went by, and we'd had a family, and the kids were growing up. I said, Dad, when are you going to make this film? And it was 2012. The company had just gone under because of this damn film that would not happen.
Yeah.
So I thought, and the internet was in a good shape, and we could put video online. And I noticed that people were doing crowdfunding. I started to see that. So I went in, started crowdfunding this film as I was building up a kind of network of friends and colleagues on Kickstarter. Very briefly, the first one failed, but then I ended up doing it in phases. So I'd do like one for 5 grand, one for 7 grand, one for 6 grand, one for 12 grand, and eventually I built this thing up, and I would shoot the film in chunks. And because of the nature of the story, Invasion Planet Earth, the guy and the girl come together at the beginning, and then he goes up one way and she goes the other. So you've kind of got 2 stories. So I focused on the Mandy story, which is the Lucy Drive, the actress called Lucy Drive scenes. So I shot all of her scenes first, which took about 2 years. Right. And then I was still raising money, really hard, but I kept going. And I think people would get a bit fed up with me on social media because I was always after cash. But eventually some investors came in, not massively, but like 5 grand here and 10 grand there. And eventually we shot all the Tom scenes, which was played by Simon Haycock. We shot his story. And I eventually put this together, and I'd always hoped that I'd have a team of special effects artists on board. But unfortunately, I had a couple of guys helping me, but ultimately I had to do a lot of it. So I really had to kind of roll my sleeves up and do it. So what you see there is a very handmade film. The really good effects are done by, a really good animator and some other animators as well, CGI guys. But most of it is done by me. So, and I'll tell you what, I gave it everything. It took me 2 years, stood in the same position at my computer. I've got a stand-up desk, and I did. Yeah. Okay. So eventually we finished the film. I say it took nearly 10 years to get it done. But then I was determined to get this film distributed because a lot of people had put a lot of money in, and I was absolutely desperate to make sure that they got their money back. Because I'd asked people to lend me, people were lending me $1,000 here and stuff, and I really wanted to pay them back. So I got on the phone to distributors, and having done it years before, when I first got my first thing done, I thought it'd be similar. But what I was met with was complete apathy from the British film industry. I couldn't believe it. It was just like nobody seemed asked. They just couldn't be bothered. Why did you bother? It was like, why did you, what was the point? I was like, I made a movie. This is anyway. So some people rejected me. A lot of people just ignored it. Nobody bothered turning up. No, it's very, very. I was very surprised at the level of, say, apathy that I got. Anyway, I just got on the phone and I found a company called Munro Films. As soon as I started talking to the guy, he got it completely. He got exactly what I'd made. An independent sci-fi movie, very ambitious, and he said, "Well, look, we can get you a little cinema release on it. It's not going to be a massive one, but we'll get it in about 20 screens across the UK, and then you can say you've had theatrical distribution. And of course we did that, but and from that I then got a Lightbulb distribution came on, and they distributed the DVD and the put it online and stuff. And then I got an American distributor, a British distributor to distribute it in America and Canada, and we've also got it selling all over the world as well. So it's actually worked out quite well. It hasn't made the mega bucks that I was hoping, but it's on the right, going in the right direction. Yeah. And I paid all loans back. I've got a little bit more to pay back to investors, but we're getting there. So it's been a success.
Yeah, it is a struggle. I noticed. I mean, I ended up distributing Twinkle Twinkle myself.
Yeah.
Because every time I spoke to someone, it was like, I know how difficult it is. It's almost, it's almost like you're banging your head against a brick wall, because you're I'm creating something amazing here. You need to be a part of this. And sometimes people just don't get it. I mean, we're shooting a film now, The Wrong. And we're sort of nearly finished it. That's been going for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And then we've got another production that we go from there straight onto, which is Don't Open the Door. And we've started looking for funding for that. And it's difficult. I mean, we're getting 20 quid here, 10 quid here.
Yeah.
Dribs and drabs.
That's what it's like. People say to me, why don't you just go to Netflix? I'll just ring them up. Hello, it's me. It's a closed shop.
If it was that easy, everyone would be doing it.
It's not, but I think audiences now are so used to HETV, high-end TV, which I absolutely hate the term, because it suggests that anything that isn't HETV is low-end TV. It's crap. It's rubbish.
Well, we shot The Wrong on the original Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera, 1080p. Yeah, looks great. Looks absolutely incredible. You're looking, and I think it's how you set your scenes up. That's how you set your lighting, it's how you set your scenes. I mean, I could take, the iPhone 13 Pro Max, go out there, if I light something properly, and I do good production value of what you're trying to create, you can use any camera. You
can. It doesn't matter now. To be honest, Invasion Planet Earth, I can tell you this now, was shot on a Panasonic VariCam, which was a nice, expensive camera in its day, but 720p. Wasn't even 1080.
It looks incredible.
So I upscaled it. When I saw it in the cinema, it looked bloody amazing. Captain Marvel was on. So I sat in and watched a bit of Captain Marvel, and then they put film on after, and it looked just as good, obviously without the big budget and stuff. But it looks quality-wise, there was no difference. So it's like, well,
I didn't even know that. I'm actually quite blown away 720p.
I know. Well, I didn't shout about it too much. I was like,
like I say, I've got like 65-inch OLED 4K. All these things pop down again.
Yeah.
And I watched it on that, and it looked beautiful.
Wow. Okay.
It looked really gorgeous. So, I think. Do you know what? I've always been the sort of person that says it's not what you use, it's how you use it. I always believe that. It's not what you use, exactly. You use it. So going on, so you release a film. It's done really well. I think for you it's done really well. I think it looks great. If you've not watched it, guys, I'll put a Prime link in the description. Go over to Prime. Get your popcorn out, a couple of drinks, and enjoy a really good independent sci-fi film. Because I think what you've achieved with that is nothing short of amazing. Because there's scenes in that film that look like that cost you millions to put together. I was like,
thank you.
With the army scene.
Yeah, I know.
Spoilers,
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus Christ, he's really gone to town here.
We got. That whole battle scene took about 4 years. This is people don't realize. I shot crowd scenes first of all, and originally, I shot a little bit in Coventry and a little crowd scene, and it didn't really work. It didn't work. I thought I need a bit more money. I need some light. I can't wing it too much. So I raised a bit of money. We hired some lights, but the thing was, I went to Birmingham Council and I said, look, I'm making this film. Could we shoot these crowd scenes in the centre? And they put me in touch with a company called Film Birmingham that oversee productions in the city. and they couldn't be more helpful. Having done it in London a few years earlier and just fought everybody, in Birmingham, they were really helpful. They closed the street. You know, we had the square, we had a street, we had the best looking street and stuff. And all it was, I was doing on a Sunday night. They changed the bus route for me. It cost about just to hire, I think it was 250 quid to physically hire the company to bring the barriers to close the street. I think I paid the council 600 quid as well for some, I can't exactly remember what it was, but it was under 1,000 quid. And then we just blasted out on Facebook and Twitter, come and be in the movie, you know, come be an extra in a sci-fi movie. 900 people turned up. I could not believe it. And so that really added the production value to the whole thing. And and as I edited the film, you know, and shot the rest of it, I thought, well, it'd be great to have the military in there. And we shot the Lucy Drive scenes. That was a separate shoot. And I kept going back and shooting lots of bits. But then there was how do we get the tanks and the army in there? And I met this guy at a World War I event I was filming with tanks and said, have you got any modern tanks? And he said, yeah, I've got 72. And anyway, he enabled us to bring tanks in. So then I had that awkward conversation with the council. Can I do it all again, but with tanks and soldiers this time? And amazingly, they said, yeah, as long as it's all legitimate and safe. We had to have, the difficulty was having young soldiers with machine guns on the street.
Oh, I've been there.
You know, so they had to be loaded in and brought in separately. And I had to pay for some police, actual armed policemen, 250 quid each, to come and just oversee it. And we also had an ambulance there with a first aider because some of them hurt themselves on the first one. So
different. But yeah, I mean, I totally get that.
That's one of the great things about making films. You get so many of these anecdotes, so many these little stories that real life just does not throw you away.
When we did Twinkle Twinkle,
yeah.
So we shot a scene in the woods, and it was a scene where this guy literally gets killed because it's about a creature, and his name's Twinkle, and he goes around killing people. Anyway,
okay.
we shot this scene in the woods, and literally this guy, the actor, was like head to toe, blood, cuts. He looked horrendous, like really gory. And this actor actually lives next door to my house. He lives next door to me.
That's handy.
So we're very good friends, you know. So anyway, we shot the scene. It was a cold winter's night, as you can imagine in England, very cold. We just wanted to get him home. So anyway, as we pulled up to my house, there was a guy, I don't know who he was. He was parked in my parking space, like cutting across my drive.
I know where this is going.
You know where this is going.
Yeah,
without thinking and without even realising, my actor's got out of the car, walked up to the window, tapped on the window. Excuse me, mate, you're covered in literally splashed to bits. This guy had put his car on, and you've never seen a car fly up the road so fast.
Brilliant. No, so good.
But
so
I think it's memories like that. I mean, with independent film that just lasts forever.
Yeah, you know? yeah. And you have to. One of the difficulties on my first film was I didn't enjoy the experience. Everything was a battle, and I came away and I look back on it, and I can't look at the film because it was such a horrible experience. Whereas in an invasion, I thought I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy every moment of this. And now it's just I look back on it, and so many happy memories, and you know, it was just such.
There's a lot of stress though in there, Simon. There's a lot of stress with it. There's a lot of oh my god, are we ever going to get this film made?
What have I done? I've got that at the moment. Like, what have I let myself for again?
I mean, even with The Wrong, I mean, we're shooting at the moment. Luckily, I think we're about 80% complete, and we've got some big things to do. Yeah. But now it's like you can't quit. You can't turn around and say, "Well, we can't finish it." You have to finish it because of all the work other people put in. Yeah.
I've been involved in films that people have walked away from, you know, and I don't want to be in that.
Yeah,
it's not very nice. It's not very nice. These are big budgets as well. It's funny, I've got a film accountant in London, and they said to me when I finished Invasion, they said, "You don't realise how many people set things up, start them, and then don't finish them."
So, Invasion Planet Earth, like I just said, guys, is out now. It's available on Amazon Prime. Where else can they see that?
Anywhere actually. I'm not sure about here in the UK now. It's on Rakuten, which is a TV.
It is on UK. It is. That's
Yeah. So it's on Amazon. It's on everywhere. I can't remember. I'm not sure it's on Apple yet. Still, it was on Apple iTunes or Apple TV, but it's definitely out there, and it's all over the world. It's on every platform.
I'll post it in the links, guys. I'll get Simon to. We'll get all the links together. I'll post them all in the description. I do recommend it. Go and check it out. But something very exciting. So Simon is currently working on something else.
Yeah, well, you know what? If the pain of Invasion Planet Earth wasn't enough, I thought, well, I'll make an even bigger film this time. So
why not?
Well, yeah, I just, what the hell? You only live once, and I keep thinking, unless Hollywood comes knocking on my door and offering me a big check or something, go and make the film you want. Yeah. You may as well set the bar at the level you want to be at. And I just love sci-fi and space and laser battles and things. So that's what there's going to be more of. And in lockdown, it's funny, I wrote a film called Of Infinite Worlds, which is about some humans that go to find this, they pick up this message and it transports them to this alien galaxy where there's this big war going on. And they're kind of thrust into it. And it was working really well. But then I thought, well, there's a really good story about what happens, why this alien war starts up. So I wrote that one. So now I've got 2 films. So, and what I've done is I was originally talking about doing both films back to back. That I thought we can have a space, build lots of sets, bring the actors in, shoot them, bring another lot in. And so that was the plan. The problem is I didn't quite raise the level of cash that I was hoping to. I raised a bit, and I've done very well actually. I can't complain. But I haven't raised enough, so I've shot a big chunk of the first film, and now it's like, how do we get the second? How do we get the rest of the money for that, and to get the other one going? So yeah, it's been good. We've been building spaceships and things, and shot some great interior spaceship shots. So for 2 weeks back in early June. So it's been really good.
And you guys, I will link Simon's YouTube channel. He's got a wonderful blog post on his channel, so you can follow.
I talk a lot.
Yeah, it's great. You can follow Simon's journey as he makes. It's called Infinity.
It's called Of Infinite Worlds. Of Infinite Worlds.
World.
You got to say it. You got to say it like
Yeah, like
stand proud. But it's a 2-part. It's going to be a trilogy, to be honest. I've got a 3rd one in the pipe, and it's about this kind of character that kind of arcs throughout all 3 films. So it's good. It would be great. It'd be great to have lots of money for it. But
this is where we need your help. This is where we need your help. So I'll post some links. I do believe you've got a campaign going on at the moment.
No, not as we speak. But my website is always open. I've got a shop on there, and any money that we sell from the shop goes directly into funding the film.
Right.
And I found, if I push things on social media, people are very good. They do support me a lot, and I've been selling these lovely Of Infinite World.
Oh, look at! Guys, look at the quality of that mug. This is the mug I'm using. Come on, guys. Look, I can have one of them mugs.
I backed the new movie Of Infinite Worlds by buying this mug.
Guys, go and buy the mug. Otherwise,
it's pretty good. The 20 quid. It's 20 quid for a mug. But the mug itself costs about £8 with postage to be printed, so dispatched out. So it's 12 quid. That's kind of the profit we're making on it. But because I had this crazy idea, I thought, because people, you're always looking for an angle, aren't you?
Yeah.
And I thought, I could do with about £250,000. That would be lovely. I could do the film for that.
That'll sort you out.
Yeah, that would do the trick. But I thought,
sting off.
all we need to do is sell 20,000 mugs. I thought, could we sell 20,000 mugs? When I mentioned it to the mug company, they had a heart attack saying, I don't know if we could source that many mugs. But anyway, I thought about it, and I really blasted it out. And I sold about, I think we're on about 400 now. So there's still a long way to go. But the great thing about crowdfunding, in whichever way you do it, is real money comes to you that you can use to make your film. one of the problems I've had, and I'm not alone here, I've had so many people promising money, especially in the films. Yeah, we'll get you 500 grand for that. You can have 800 there. We'll get you 2 million.
I've heard that.
And I've heard it so many times, and it's like, yeah. When you've got the money in your account, you can put it into our account, and we can do a deal. Let's do it. But I just get fed up with people making promises that don't deliver.
I'm there. I'm right there.
It stops you. It stops the momentum.
I had a producer reach out to me, and between me and you, I ended up telling them very politely to. I'm not really going to repeat it.
Leave the building.
Because sign an NDA, did the NDAs and everything, and now we've got to change this, we've got to change that. Whoa, slow you roll, big boy.
yeah, that's
right. Slow you roll.
Yeah.
How much you donating? Couple of £100. Okay, right. Listen, mate.
yeah. You know what I found? You need to have integrity when you do this kind of thing. But I found last time I asked everybody, look, we had to shoot this. There's a scene in Invasion Planet Earth on an alien planet, and I wanted to shoot it in Lanzarote. I've been there years ago, but it was all volcanic and very alien-like. And I thought,
yeah, I've been there. Yeah, it's lovely.
Can we go there for a couple of days, take a crew there, and shoot these scenes? So we've got these great vistas. And but our lead man Simon was just about to move to LA. And I got like really panicked because I thought, this is the last bit. If he goes, he's going to get a job and not want to come back or be too busy. And so I just put it out. It was Christmas, and I just put it out to all my backers, people that put in the Kickstarter and the Indiegogo campaign. I said, look, guys, I got a problem. Could you lend me £1,000? I need to make about 20 grand so we can fly everybody over there. And within a week, the money just came in. I was like, blown away. But I thought, I've got to pay this back. This is not crowd. This is not
that's
someone
scary,
buying the money.
Yeah, scary.
And I felt the heat of that. But they just did. They just jumped in, and one guy put £4 grand in. He's been such a great sport, and I paid him back plus a little bit of interest, and I paid him all back. The investors came in with bigger sums, and they've started to get a little bit back, but not much. And the problem's been the movies just take so long to get the money, and it takes years to get the money in.
The thing is, it's always a gamble. And the thing is, when I look for a producer and I look for investment, that's the first thing I say. I say we're set up to make the best film we possibly can. We always go in it with heart, with passion. We love what we do. Me personally, I don't do it for the money. I do it because I love to make film. When I'm on set and I'm bringing a story to life, that's like my cocaine. That's my drug. But I always sort of say to him, I don't know how much this film is going to make. It can make 10 quid. It can make 10 million quid. If you come into the production as an investor, that's the mindset you need to have. We're going to be doing everything in our power to make this a success. But sometimes, things aren't successful, and making film is a gamble.
It's like
far, everything all the films I've done, the money's come out of my pocket. It's not come out of, investment, or, the wrong has come out of my pocket. It's not come out of, we've not got investors for it. We've not got funding for it. I think the only time I've asked for an investment is with Don't Open the Door. And the reason with that is because we need to find like a manor house. We need to find a big manor house, and we need to pay cast and catering, and it's one of them shoots where we have to stay there for 2 weeks on set and film day and night, so
yeah.
I know how frustrating it is, and I know how hard it is and difficult it is to not only start a film, but to get it finished.
Finishing it is the hard, finishing is the hard bit. And I think,
it's the respect that I have for my fellow filmmakers like yourself, that we sort of bump heads and we could say, yeah, been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, and sort of bounce off each other.
It's quite interesting if every filmmaker's had that same experience. Christopher Nolan's first film was The Following, which he shot in bits. I believe he shot every weekend for a year or something, just shot in little bits around their day jobs, and he funded it as well, just for his work. And you know, but it can open huge doors for you. He was very, you know, he's done all right, hasn't he? So, and I remember him at the New Producers Alliance back in the 90s. I remember seeing him there. So I wish I'd been friends with him. Would have been quite handy. But
yeah, but
you
you're
know,
doing your own thing, aren't you? You're doing your own
you
thing.
do. You realise. I realised in my 40s nobody's going to come knocking. I just knew. I just kind of I tried and tried and tried. I'd had a relatively successful film, but it's not like there's someone out there with a big check going, who can I give this money to? Yeah, go away and make the film. And so you need to get rid of that thought that there's, and you need to find a way to do it. And the other thing I found is work within your means. Like if you've got a great location, or you know, or use that that's free, and use the things that are around you.
Absolutely.
Says he, making bloody spaceship sets. And
yeah, but I love that.
But,
I mean, do you follow a YouTube channel called In Camera?
No, I've seen it. I have. No, I don't follow, but I've seen it. Yeah.
Brilliant. You know, when it comes to modelling and bringing the models to life, his YouTube channel's invaluable.
Yeah, he's really good. That I know the guy. Yeah, because I was looking. Yeah,
I don't think he's too far from you as well.
Is he?
He's I think he's near Birmingham, somewhere like that.
Is he?
Yeah, he's in the UK. He's got a studio, but he
does all the models, doesn't he? He does all those model shots, and yeah, because it's funny actually with this film. I've got loads of spaceships in it of Infinite Worlds I'm talking about, and I'm mates with this guy that is ex Jerry Anderson, used to work on Terrorhawks and things like that. And I said, like, I want real ships, you know. So he built me a whole bunch of spaceships, and like they're like 2 foot, 3 foot long. They're all in my garage, and I asked a friend with a motion control rig if we could shoot it, you know, put it on the rig. So it's flying around on the rig, and the camera's flying in. So you get these. We've got some lovely kind of spaceship shots, and against blue, and I keyed them on backgrounds and stuff, and it's looking fantastic. Well, it's looking okay. It was looking okay, but then I discovered Unreal Engine. I don't know if you've seen Unreal Engine.
I use Unreal Engine a lot. I'm in the process of doing something for a client on Unreal Engine.
Oh, it's really good. Well, what I realized was if you get the ship scanned, you get your 3D model, but you can put it in that Unreal Engine, that 3D environment.
That's right.
And we've done that, and I've still got. It's taken quite a while, and the money I've had to do it as I can afford it. And I've got I've had 6 ships now scanned into 3D, and I've got two more to go. And but I've been flying them around, and then so I've been like you, building all my spaceship shots before I've even shot the live action scenes. So with the live action scenes we've shot recently, I'm quite excited, looking forward to dropping them in and fitting the effects around the you know.
Well, what you do, I think the great thing with Unreal Engine is front projection. So if you can start using front projection, so what I mean by that is basically plug your computer into a 4K projector, you know, create your landscapes, throw it onto a big massive wall, and then put your actors in front of it. I mean, that will look incredible. It's my mate Ryan Connolly over at Film Riot. He's done a couple of really cool concept videos on how to do that. But I'm in the process of doing a sideline project at the moment, which is an animated feature film, and I've been using Unreal Engine mixed with DAZ 3D and iClone. So I've been using 3 pieces of software sort of simultaneously and bringing it all together. And we got the motion capture studio in here as well, so we can do all the motion capture and bring characters to life and all that sort of stuff. So Unreal Engine is I think the future of filmmaking without having to leave your house.
I agree. So you need to sort of like make it work for you, but I've also been using it for little bits of sets. So if I've got a bit of green screen and need a bit of a window or a frame or something, I can build it in Unreal, match the kind of I match it and then bring it into After Effects and combine it with the actual shot. And I've been doing quite a bit of that, and it's really flipping handy.
Yeah, I mean, if you go, I mean, I use After Effects, and I use Nuke. Nuke's brilliant. But if you look at Daz Studio as well, Daz Studio, you can use some really awesome sets in Daz Studio.
Is that DAZ? Daz?
Yeah, Daz Studio.
Okay.
Look at that, because Daz Studio is really good for sets. And I often combine Daz Studio with Nuke and After Effects. So After Effects I would use mostly for tweaking. You know, just tidying. After Effects. That's why it's called After Effects.
Yeah, it's like gelling it all together, isn't it? Almost.
You know, I like, when I create things, I like to use a lot of motion blur and camera wiggles. And you know, if we was to sort of like see an alien, for instance, you know, it'd be slightly sort of blurred, and the camera will sort of shift. You know, sort of, so you don't get you don't get that one fixed view where it's so sharp that you can pick out
through it.
you can pick out the impurities on the actual character. It's like, we know what it is, but we're not going to show you exactly what it is. You know, we're not going to give you that pin sharp sort of detail. And that's what I use After Effects for, you know, create a nice little wiggle expression to bring the camera. You know, especially in an action sequence.
In Invasion, what saved me was the 3D camera within After Effects. It took me a while to get my head around it, but once you can build those sort of three-dimensional layers up, and then you can move the camera around, and you get that 3D parallax.
That's right. Try. It is a little bit pricey, but try Nuke. So Nuke is node based. Nuke is node based, and obviously After Effects is sort of layer based, isn't it? So After Effects is more sort of easier to sort of get your head around. When you're editing the film and doing everything, it's the software. I mean, my brain was overloaded, but once I'd got a system on Invasion, I mean, you know, you've got to pay the bills as well. So I was working, but on my free time, I was cranking out shots. And I've done 4 shots today, I've done 6 shots today, I've done 2 shots today. And I wrote a little list, and I just kept going. It took months and months and months. And I could just look back through this list of all these individual shots that I've got through. But it was good. And I just kept saying, no, that can be better. And I kept looking at Rogue One, actually. I kept looking at Rogue One effects going, how can I get it like that? Gareth Edwards is from, I live where I live. He's from this street in Nuneaton, and I met him years ago. I haven't seen him for years. We spoke once on Facebook recently, but he's done very well. I'm very curious to see what he does next. I know he's got a film he's doing. Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. So, I mean, so so you're not doing. Is there any way people can sort of donate to the new project? Is there?
Yeah, of course. It's ofinfiniteworlds.com. You go to
I'll post a link in the description. You go down there. You know, whether you donate £1 or 50 quid or whatever you want to donate, it all helps. You know, it all helps. And,
you get a mug or T-shirt. That's one of the ways.
I've got a question for you.
Go on then.
Right. Are we going to see an Invasion Planet Earth Part 2? Because it would be really nice to see what happens to these characters.
Honestly, I'm not sure. I don't know. Yeah, it's good. It's very nice that you say that. And you're not the first person to ask it. At the moment, I couldn't go back there. We haven't fallen out of anybody or anything. It's just I'm not sure. It feels like a fable to me. It feels like it ends very neatly with what happens next. And I don't think I could do it justice unless the story comes to mind in the next, before I get too old. But I'm not sure I could do it justice. I think what goes on up here at the end of the film is much better than what we could deliver.
Yeah. No, I don't ever say that. Don't ever say that, man, because I'm sure.
Never say never.
Never say never. Never say never.
Yeah, I know. Okay, we'll see. To be honest, if I could have a hit, if I could be successful and be in a position where I could make whatever I wanted and someone would fund it, then there may well be a sequel. But it has to be good. I want it to be. The thing about Invasion Planet Earth is there's a lot of psychology in that film. And and I know the criticism, negative criticisms I've got is from people that haven't got it. But when you let that film wash over you and you really think about what it's about, it takes you on a very spiritual journey.
Mm.
And and a lot of effort went into that, which people probably don't realize. And yes, you can say the effects are bad, but if you just feel your way through the story, it's very cathartic. And when I saw the original Star Wars, I was so moved by it. And I was like, what is it, that magic? And it wasn't the effects. That was all great. Everything was great about it. But it was the story of Luke, this guy that's struggling to get on, and how he overcomes all these things inside him and becomes, changes the galaxy. And that's very much what is supposed to happen in Invasion of Planet Earth. So it takes us on a journey about, you feel like you've lost everything, you've got nothing, and what's it all about? And actually, you can always reinvent yourself and always come back again.
I think never. The way I sort of perceived it is about starting again.
Yeah, it is.
The movie's about starting again, starting fresh.
Yeah.
I don't want to sort of talk too much because obviously I don't want to give the plot away for people that haven't seen it. But I've always thought, it's about new beginnings, starting again. And even with Simon's relationship with his wife and the baby, everything's starting again. And
Earth, because they're very similar things. It's like, just because we're here now, it doesn't mean we have to continue down this road. We can change it, but it's up to us to be bold and make those decisions. That's kind of what it's about. So I think it's important. It's funny. We see all the negative reviews on IMDb, but on the AVOD channels, I saw a YouTube channel that it was on in the States. I managed to get access to it, and I saw some of the comments, and people were just getting it. It was like it found its right audience.
Yeah, and
they were really moved by it. And inspired, uplifted, which is kind of what I wanted. It's like,
I really enjoyed it. I was like, this is really, really good. I like the characters, I like the story. I thought some of the set pieces were absolutely incredible. I was like, go on, my son. You've aced it. Like the zombie, I don't want to say too much. People need to watch it.
Zombie dream sequence.
Yeah.
There you go.
I thought it was really well done.
Thank you.
So, massive congratulations on that. Really, really.
That was all location. Thank you, man. Thank you. That was all locations I could get my hands on. We shot the zombie scene in Birmingham University, and I walked in there to pick up something for my daughter, and they've got this bloody great, huge location with steel pillars and escalators. It was, and my first thought was Dawn of the Dead. Zombies.
Yeah.
George, it's not Dawn of the Dead. So that was why I shot there. But once I asked them, and they let us in, and I said, we're going to have a few zombies running around. There were 80. People were covered in blood, and they loved it. They do. Charging up and down the stairs. It was great.
They do. Fantastic. We shot in a prison up in Gloucester.
Wow.
People love that. And it's like these locations. The thing is, I can always make a location look like something it's not. You just got to be creative. I mean, we used the bloody library. We used the library, and we converted it into a complete police station. And when you look at it on camera, it's like, oh my god, that looks like a police station. It doesn't look like a, So I think it's about, being creative, But there's a point, because obviously budget is everything. I remember there was a scene in Twinkle where the creature picks up one of the actors by the throat and lifts him up off his feet. Yeah. Now, a lot of people would look at that and think, oh, that's easy. Oh, it's so not.
It's not. No, I've been there.
So not. Luckily, this actor was a skilled scaffolder. He was a scaffolder. So I was like, do you reckon you could get some of your scaffolding tools so we can sort of rig something out? So, we put his costume on, and then underneath it, he had a rig, a harness with everything they use for scaffolding. Nothing for film, with a big blooming rope. And we threw this rope over a tree, and we had 6 blokes. And to do that was killer. And we had 6 blokes like this, going like this, pulling.
Yeah.
Right. And then I have to hold him up like that. But then as he was like, so we got that, right, we can lift him up off the floor now, right? Great. But then he was like this.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
And he was like, Carlo, I'm getting really dizzy. And I'm holding him because I played the creature in the film, and I'm holding him by the throat like that. And I was like, right, roll camera, right, go, go. Because I'm acting and I'm directing. Like, action, like that. Oh, battery's gone on the phone.
Yeah, I know. It's so frustrating. I know.
So
It's funny actually. We had years ago. We had this idea about doing this scene on hoverboards, like flying through the streets. I thought I'll shoot the background. We'll hang out the top of the car. We'll drive down the street backwards. So we shot all this background stuff, and then we thought I'll get this like a harness thing. So we got this like pair of harness pants on this action, this rope up his back, and we oinked him up on a green screen. But he got in a bit of a mess down there, and I was very.
We did the same
Oh,
for
I can't believe I'm
the
doing this live. He was like, oh God, oh my God. So the first thing he opened his pants up, lifted his luggage.
We shot
that.
we
Sorry,
shot
everybody.
for a whole day, right? And the scene it's not used anymore, but the guy was in a truck and he was drink driving, and it was literally a whole day filming, right? And he's knocking back the booze and all that, and he's driving. And the idea was someone comes out, he hits the person, she goes in pieces all over the windscreen,
Right.
Not Disney Plus, and then the truck sort of flipped. So we shot a whole day doing the scene, only to realise in the edit that he didn't take the bottle top off the lid.
Oh no. Oh God.
Luckily we haven't used that scene because we changed the whole scene, but that took me nearly a week to remove the bottle top in CG.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, like something so simple. And it's all my fault. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. But you don't always know.
So he's there.
Oh yeah.
And there's a lid.
And you're trying to see out the lid. Oh,
hang on,
God.
what's he drinking? The bottle's closed, Some guy said to me, I'll just use it because it makes him look insane. I said, no, it makes me look insane. But I think it's memories like that just
the trouble is when you're making a movie, you're directing, and the problem is in independent, we're all thinking about everything. We're thinking about the guy down the road, the bus there, is that going to come? Is everybody there? What time's the food going to turn up? You've got all this stuff going on, and you can look at this monitor like this. You're supposed to notice all these things. And yeah, I've had lots of little things like that. We had a bit of problem on the set recently. There was, we've got this lovely set, and we've got Sean Cronin, great actor, in there doing this big scene. And I didn't notice it, but I got back, and yesterday I'm looking for it. It's a bloody piece of masking tape on the set. Now I think I can cut that out, but the problem is his head keeps going in front of it. So I was like, oh, Christ, we're gonna have to mask around that. And it's just really stupid. Like, why did no one notice it? Why did we notice it? And I was certainly doing so many things,
Yeah, that's it. We're just trying to write stories and bring them to life. But sometimes we get a bit ambitious, don't we?
Well, you need to. But look, I think
that's it.
I think it's really important. Independent cinema is really important. Otherwise, if we're not allowed to do it, we have to find a way to keep going, because that's how careers are built. You don't just leave college and go to Netflix. Well, maybe you do, but it's very hard, and people need to be given a chance to get in. So I hope one day the audience will kind of appreciate what it is. They used to.
I think to me, independent film is where it's at. I've always liked independent film. I've always liked zero budget movies. I've got a couple of friends, the Zahner brothers. If you like sci-fi, there's a movie called Cosmos. It's on Amazon Prime for free, and a couple of friends of mine directed that, and they shot it on original. And when they shot it on original Blackmagic Cinema camera, and it looks incredible.
Wow. Okay.
The film looks absolutely incredible.
I've heard of it actually. It's on Amazon Prime. Is it Cosmos? Yeah. Right. I'll have a look at
Cosmos.
That. I might have even seen it. I can't remember.
It's about the guys in the car. They're in the car, and it's most of it's set inside the car in the woods.
Oh right. Okay.
But they're trying to find extraterrestrial life, so they've got this massive telescope that they've designed, and they've pointed it to the stars,
Yeah.
and they get sort of more than what they bargained for.
Oh, sounds good.
But
I'll have a look
it's
at that.
beautiful. The film is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny now. Now you can shoot on anything. It's we're in a much better position. When I left school and wanted to make films, it was you had to shoot on film. It was the only way. You needed money. But I think people were a bit more tolerant then for they kind of got low budget. They understood low budget movies. I'm a big fan of a guy called Roger Corman from the 80s, an American director, and he made Battle Beyond the Stars and all these ultra ambitious films on very small budgets, and they would have a set and they'd use it for loads of different films and relight them and just bring different acts and redress them.
Yeah.
But James Cameron worked for him, and that's where he kind of got his discipline.
Well, I mean, look at Peter Jackson. His first film was Bad Taste. That was like, you can't get much lower budget than that film.
No.
And
Exactly.
look at him now.
Ideas. Yeah, he's done all right, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's
another one
right.
that's done okay.
He's made a couple of quid, hasn't he?
He's done all right.
Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for coming on the show, buddy.
That's a pleasure. Well, man,
I've loved every minute of it. And
thank you. I'm always here, by the way.
Eh?
I'm always around if you ever want to chat.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
I think certainly a lot of filmmakers aren't accessible, and I try and be as accessible as I humanly can.
Yeah.
Because but otherwise, where do you go? Where do you learn? I mean, you've got YouTube now. I suppose you can look at anything, but it's good to sort of talk to people and
absolutely. I love to get feedback and say, give you a call. Hey, Simon, I'm shooting this thing. What do you reckon? It's good to have that, because the thing is, with Film at VFX Studios, we're family based.
Yeah,
everyone's family.
Yeah,
and
I'm the same. I feel like we've got a nice little team.
I mean, Saturday, I've got a massive barbecue in my garden. All my cast are coming.
Wow,
my cast and my crew, and we sit out there, we laugh, we joke, we eat steak, we eat burgers. To me, that's so important. So important.
That's the only downside.
To build friends for life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Building, making friends for life. That's what I.
In fact, sorry to jump in there, because that's a lesson I learned years ago. You've got to make lots of friends. This is a people business, and it's like these guys, there might not be anything now, but people go on and do really well, and you get support. I know lots of people that have made it. I knew Steve Moyer, who was in True Blood. He was, he came and helped me out early on, and then went off and became a big star. Matt Alsop was a student at our local college, and he was a brilliant concept artist. And he came and did loads of work for me on Invasion Planet Earth, and then got in with Gareth Edwards, and then got Godzilla, and then he got into Star Wars. And now he's one of the world's top storyboard artists, and concept artists. So he's that's in all incredible. He's forward. He's only like in his 30s, so it does happen. He's not
old like us, eh?
No, that's not the years. It's the mileage.
That's it. Do you know what? I will keep making films until I drop down. I've got Parkinson's. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, I saw that. No, I was going to talk to you about that.
But do you know what? Doesn't faze me. I don't care.
Because you have purpose. Filmmaking gives you purpose, and it's. Do you know what?
When you shoot a scene, when you go out there and you get a difficult scene, and you shoot that scene, and then you take it home, and you're panicking, and you think, right, I've got to back it all up now, and you drop it on the computer, and you look at it, and it looks incredible. That to me is like, what?
Do you know what?
It's
magic, isn't it? Do you know the bit I like? Is when you've got two shots and you cut them together, and then something. It's very hard to explain. Something magical happens, and then you see the reaction that edit makes of those two performances you brought together. People go, wow, or that scene. There's certain scenes in Invasion Planet Earth, and I go, I don't care what the criticism I've got, but I go, this is where I want to be. This is why I make films.
I mean, Twinkle, I totally get. Do you know what, Simon? I 100% get it, because with Twinkle Twinkle, there was so many mistakes in that film. Because with audio, for instance, all I could afford was a Rode VideoMic Pro, red cable straight into the camera, on a little gimbal, there's mistakes that were made in that film. But to me, I think that was the best thing that's ever happened because it's made me stronger as a filmmaker.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. Yep.
Later next year, we start Twinkle Twinkle 2 because everyone's asking for it. When are you doing a Twinkle 2?
Wow.
But I know that's going to look a million times better
Mm.
than its predecessor because I've learned a lot from it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and that's why I
Amazing.
think seeing your improvements is the biggest thing ever. It's just
Oh,
incredible.
bless you. I learned so much about green screen and I'm not doing that again. Well,
I'm quite lucky because, like I say, I've been 18 years in
Been
visual
doing it.
effects.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
also a composer as well, so I
Oh,
compose my own scores. So, and obviously I edit and stuff like that. So I'm sort of learned the whole lot. I've sort of sort of made it sort of one package.
That's really important. I think if you know everybody's job, not intimately, but if you know what sound man does, and you can talk about microphones or you can talk about lenses, and the set builder, you kind of understand how the flats fit together and stuff. That makes you a better filmmaker. Certainly, as an editor, that for me has been the saving grace. All those cutting those animated films when I was in my 20s really set me up. To
I love editing.
Power of editing.
I absolutely adore editing. I mean, bringing a story to life is like, especially after you go out there and you shoot it, and then I will compose the music. Because right here, I don't think you're going to be able to see. I've got a complete piano system.
Okay.
And all the tools. So I will sit here. I will compose. Just here, I've got a 55-inch. A screen for the output, and I will just sit here, I will play, and I will compose my music. And I've not heard anyone come to me and say, Carlo, that's horrendous. Everyone said, I really love the score. The Twinkle Twinkle, I composed the whole score.
Oh, right.
The Twinkle Twinkle.
I've got to watch Twinkle. Got to watch it.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll send you, I will get, I've got some DVDs of it, so I can send you a DVD if you want, but I've got no covers at the moment.
Don't worry. If it's on Prime, I'll pay for it on Prime.
Yeah.
I'll invest in your film, mate.
Yeah, mate. Ditto. That's why I'm going to buy a Invasion Earth, mate.
Well, okay.
I want to buy. Do you know what? I want to buy it because I love to invest in people's work.
Well, that's very kind. Thank you.
Listen, Simon, thank you so much, brother.
Thank you, mate.
It's been an honour. It's been such a fun chat, and good luck with the new film. I'm sure we're going to hear loads more about it. Like I said, guys, Simon's got Alpha Star's YouTube channel in the description below. I'll post some links. Go subscribe there. It's really good fun, and it does. He's got a nice cat as well.
Sorry, the cat's terrorizing me from the side here. Stand there, stay there.
But actually, how old is that cat?
I think 6 months. It's quite young.
I remember I was binge watching and she was walking as a little kitten.
Yeah. Oh God, yes.
Part of the family. I feel like
it is. And he's trying to jump out the window at the moment.
Yeah, I've done that a few times.
Simon,
listen. Thank you so
mate.
much, brother. It's been an honour, and
pleasure.
Watch out for more from Simon. Hopefully he'll come back on the show once he's released his new film. To have a chat about that,
mate. I'm happy to speak to you. I'm not going to go big time. If it happens, I'll be very level-headed and stay ready to talk to anyone.
It will happen, and we'll see you at the Oscars.
Right, see you there, mate. All right, yeah. Thanks, Carl. It's good to speak to you, mate, and really appreciate the time and that. All right,
no problem, buddy.
All right, buddy. You
take care.
Then. See you. Bye.
Bye.